Hi guys and welcome back to Dice Down Gaming. In today's video, I'm going to cover why I think the future of Warmachine is looking so good and looking really bright. Before I do that, a massive thank you to anyone who subscribed to me so far. If you're watching this video, you like what you see and haven't subscribed, I'd be really grateful if you subscribe. If you like the video, I'd love for you to like it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of Warmachine in the comments, where you think it's going, do you think it's going in a good direction, and all those sort of things. So, into the main topic. Why do I think Warmachine is future looking so good? Start off with the sort of precursor. I'm very happy to give any company, including Steamforce Games, a bad time. I'm happy to speak my opinion about them when I think they're not doing things so well. And there's certainly things previously in the past that I think Steamforce Games haven't handled so well, and I've been very vocal to them about that. At the moment, I think Steamforce Games is doing a great deal right with Warmachine and the way they handle it and what they're doing. And today's video is focusing on all those things that I think that I put us in a good place for Warmachine to have a really good future in tabletop gaming. I'm going to give them first of all is Steamforce Games communication. I think it's something they've been doing a lot better with recently. I think a great example of that is the old Umbre pre-releases. So, in their recent article on a Warmachine Wednesday, they put up the information that the first wave of Old Umbre core expansion is almost sold out essentially, and they've been very transparent and clear that if you order on a certain day, you'll get it hopefully by September the 4th, and then once that sells out, then they will put it on sold out, and then they'll go release a second wave, and be very clear that won't land till the mid sort of October, late October. Now, I think this is a great example of ways they have progressed in their communication with their customers. Previously, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't do this and they just let you order it and then they said, "Oh, we've got production delays and you won't get it to October now." They've preempted that. They've put this on their website. They've told you that we've sold so much, which is a great sign. So if you order now, you might not get it a bit later. I think that's really, really good forward thinking from Steamforce Games. Great communication, and more of that would be excellent. So that's my first plus for Steamforce Games. But the communication has really improved recently, and hopefully we're going to see a trend of that going forward, and more things like this. Next up, we've a lot of discords for Warmachine, the European leagues, the UK Discord, the general global Warmachine Discord, and then the official Steamforce Games Discord, for example. These have all seen steady growth over the last, say, 3 to 4 months. I have only rejoined Warmachine Mark IV since the end of January. So for me, it's only really been 8 months, really, back in the game. But even then, I've noticed myself, we're seeing really steady growth in all of these discords. Now, this is anecdotal evidence, and it's not exactly hard evidence, hard data to suggest that it's definitely growing. But I'd say it's a good sign that these social media platforms where people actively discuss the game and show off their hobby are increasing in numbers, and they're increasing steadily. That's always really, really great to see. And I think that what really helps is the current win rate of armies, the current meta we're playing in. Okay, we all know Wind Corps might need a little bit of love, but apart from that, if you showed these stats to people, every army between 45 and essentially 55%, fantastic. That's where we really want the game to be. I think there's a couple armies at 56%. We can tweak them down a tiny bit, and Winter Corps can get a bit of love. And I think that really helps people from the outside when I'm sort of maybe doing a show and showing this data off and other people are talking about it. It's a great data set to show off. And I think it helps keep the players we have because people are happy with the current game state. You can play what you want to a degree and be competitive. And I think that's another point of showing that Steamforce Games have got a good grasp on the balance of the game. They know where to up tweak things and down tweak things. I'm really excited for the January pass. But I think the fact that the meta is so healthy at the moment is really helping that growth, and people are really confident that they can buy and play pretty much what they want. Another great sign, and this is something is that I sort of have noticed. So every month, I take a look at the meta. I look at the amount of events every month. I see where they're happening globally, Europe, Australia, America, and what we're seeing is for the last 3 months I've done this, we've seen an uptick in events. Not massive. I think 2 or 3 more events every month, but that is consistent growth. Hopefully, we see that going up. I think that ties in with how fantastic the core rule set is and how balanced the armies are. Um, you're able to pick and play what you want and be competitive, and that core rule set really allows for fantastic tournament games. It's so clean, everything's so black and white, it's so consistent and transparent. I think that will help the game going forward, and I think more people are realizing that even though it has a very clean and tight rule system, it doesn't mean that people only play it to be ultra competitive. Some of the best people I know, friend wise, for a laugh across the table, play Warmachine, and I think that's coming across more and more with Steam Force Games. Putting out more ways to play. In the keynote last year, they put a focus on sort of hobby, and there's going to be some narrative play things coming. I think it'll really help the game draw in a larger audience and continue that growth we've seen in the last 2 months going forward. Another trend I've noticed also, looking at sort of these events every month, is that Masters events are growing in numbers. So Finnish Masters, Swedish Masters, etc. If you look at them sort of year on year, from the last few years, they've gained players now, and hopefully we see that carry on. I myself, I'm probably going to try and take a trip to the Finnish Masters next year with my old Umbre, which are on their way. And I think seeing that global sort of scale up is happening is really really great sign. Which had Nova, which had massive team tournament. I was contacted by some of the Australians who are doing the OTC recently. We're going to cover that on the channel. We're going to go through the data. That is going to be really interesting. Can't wait to do that. I think what we're seeing is like these events, more numbers, more of them. They're getting bigger, globally getting bigger, and more of them. It's a really, really great sign for the game. I'm really positive about that, and I think that means there's only good things to come, really. Certainly in the UK, it's anecdotal evidence, but next year we have three weekends in the UK now. We're going to have War Manchester, we're going to have Welsh Masters, and we're going to have the York Weekender. My old Umbre are going to be taking a trip to all of them. And that's just a great sign for the UK that we have three separate opportunities to travel with a group, play Warmachine all weekend. And, your weekenders typically grab some European people because traveling for one day is not viable and not possible. But traveling for a weekend across Europe really attracts and helps the community intermingle, which is only good for the game. So more really, really great signs for the game. We've obviously got Lock and Load as well. So Lock and Load is a War Machine centric event. We've got one in the US, and next one we have one in Europe. That is going to be a great opportunity for global War Machine crowds from the US or Europe respectively to get together. A great opportunity for War Machine and Steam Force Games as a company to show off what they're doing. Those sort of opportunities to show a new model or a new unit. They're always great for the game. They build that hype. People want to be there. You can hold prestigious events there, such as the Iron Gauntlet. The people that qualify can go play there. I think Lock and Load, having your own sort of con as a company normally works very well for growth and in terms of build hype, and you want to be there if you play that game. It's another great sign for the game. Oh, BattleNet, go away. It's gone away. So next up, I think I just want to make a general praise for Steam Force Games in terms of how much effort I perceive them putting into the game. Don't get to see any behind the curtain or anything, but my own perception of the effort that Steam Force Games are putting into Warmachine is a lot. You've got things like new factions. So we've got the Kith Guard. We've got potentially the new Fury Dusk faction, the new Orgoth, which I think are the Reaper Covenant or Deathless, or the Orgoth side of Orgoth. We've got them coming out. We might have some new factions. They're putting effort into developing the game. As well as that, you got things like core rulebook coming out in physical. They didn't have to do this; they could happily just keep that digital, and there's no reason they needed to produce a physical core rulebook. But they listened to the player base. People have been asking for it, and have done it. And I think that's fantastic. And I think it's another thing to show that they are really, they're keen in developing the game and not just letting it stay stagnant. At Nova we saw the organised play kit. I don't think I saw it opened, but I saw the play kit. That's a massive thing for me. I run steamrollers in Harlow pretty much every 2 months. Everyone loves an organised play kit. I'm really excited to see that. All these little things to me show that Steam Force Games, they care. They're investing in the game. They want to see it forward. They're pushing to develop it forward. And as a player, for me, that means a lot, right? They could have just keep all the rules digital. They could let you buy the factions that are out there. They could have a slower release schedule. They could do not be doing things like letting you buy Infernals or Crucible Guard or Dark Operations via their print. Everything they're doing to me shows me that a company that cares about their game wants it to succeed and are putting effort into it to allow it to succeed. And I think that only means good things for the future of the game. And lastly, I think Adepticon is a really great thing to put a spotlight on. Adepticon is a good example, a good opportunity, as opposed to say Lock and Load, to get eyes on the game which aren't there for Warmachine. So, for example, if I attend Lock and Load Europe, that is a Warmachine dedicated weekend. Everyone is there to play Warmachine, and it's a one-track event. Adepticon, for example, has all of the systems there: 40k, Sigmar, Old World, Heresy, non-GW games as well. But it's a great example to get eyes on the game which weren't there to see Warmachine. And Steamforce Games using that as their prime keynote spotlight is fantastic. I think it's really, really good. It's a great sense from Warmachine, from Steamforce Games, and a great decision. And I think having that focal keynote every year is a great way to generate hype. I stayed up last year to last year. I stayed up to watch it whenever it was at 3 a.m. because I bloody love Warmachine. I was really excited to see what they were going to say. You can get your friends to have little watch parties, get on Discord, watch it together. But really great decision from Steamforce Games to have that spotlight at an event where people aren't just there for Warmachine. Catch some more eyes which weren't expecting to see the game, and then get them sold into this fantastic rule set with beautiful models and a company that really cares about the game. Great sense from Steamforce Games. That pretty much covers what I wanted to cover today. It was a bit of a only praise video for Steamforce Games, but I think when a company does things and that well, they deserve the praise. And if they make some terrible decisions, I'll happily make a video on how terrible a decision it was. But I think for me, the summary is that the future of Warmachine is really bright, really good. I cannot wait for next year to attend the Weekenders in the UK, potentially get to the Finnish Masters, potentially get on my old Umbre on the table and really work out what they do and what they can't do. It's going to be great. If you made it this far in the video, I'm truly grateful. Thank you so much for watching and watching me jabber on. And until the next one, I'll see you then.